Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com and to episode 3 of my 12-week Countdown to Christmas 2020 series. Today I have a wiper card for you. It's a 2-tiered one using the Peaceful Boughs stamp set and dies. I'm going to be using this die and the fir cone die. The other stamp set I'm using is Dove of Hope from the August to December 2020 mini, and you can find it on page 13. It's been bundled with the detailed dove dies, and I'm just only going to use the dove. The cardstock you need, just Jade. The card base is 8 1/4 by 4 1/4 in metric. That's 21 centimeters by 10.8 centimeters. On the long side you score at 1 3/8 inches and 2 3/4 inches. In metric that's 3.5 centimeters and 7 centimeters. 2 whisper white pieces for the side panels here. We're going to be making our own designer series paper, and these measure 1 1/8 by 4 inches. So that goes here and here. For this section here you need a piece that is whisper white standard 5 1/4 by 4 inches. In metric that's 13.3 by 10.2 centimeters. Then you need another piece of whisper white cut the same size to glue to the back of the card so that you can write a little message to your recipient. For tier 2, also in just Jade, this is 8 1/4 by 2 inches. That's 21 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and you score it the same way. So it's 1 3/8 by 2 3/4, and that's 3.5 and 7 centimeters. Need 2 pieces of whisper white to go on these side panels here, and they measure 1 1/8 by 1 3/4 inches. That's 2.9 by 4.4 centimeters. The main panel is 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. In metric that's 13.3 by 4.4 centimeters. You need a wiper mechanism. That's just Jade. It's 1 inch by 1 7/8 inches, 2.5 centimeters by 4.8. You take the bottom right corner and you want to manipulate it so that you can bend it and fold it up to meet the line at the top, like so, into a little triangle, like so. And we'll set that aside. And you also need a piece of window sheet that's been cut at 1/2 inch by 2 inches, and this is also for the wiper mechanism. So let's put that somewhere safe so we don't lose it. So just Jade and whisper white scrap, and something that's new called the Festive Felt Sheet Combo Pack, and there are 4 sheets in a pack. It's just felt. So the one we're going to be using is this dark brown colour, which I think is early espresso, but there are also other colours. There's whisper white, real red, and just Jade, I think. Snip off a little bit, just enough for the fir cone so I don't waste it. The inks we are using are Versamark, Soft Suede and Just Jade. Smoky Slate ink and a blender pen. A spare clear block. Real red marker, Soft Suede marker and Just Jade markers. Clear embossing powder, a heat tool, basic rhinestones. Bring in my stamparatus. I'm going to stamp on the main card base first in Soft Suede. I've already set up the stamparatus, so stamp that first. I want a lighter shade of just Jade. I don't want it too dark, so I'm going to do a lot of stamping off. So stamp off and then stamp on. And use the soft suede marker to colour in the branches. Then I'm going to use this smaller pine needle for the bottom of the card. And on these two panels I will do the same, stamp off and stamp on to create these decorative panels. So I'll speed this up. Then glue this piece that you've just stamped to the card base. On the same side as you've glued the two panels. Then I'm going to stamp the panels here. So bring in my soft suede, ink this up, and I'm just going to stamp the fir cone in that corner and one so that it triangulates when it's glued together. Switch back to the Just Jade. Stamp the sentiment in the center at full strength. To decorate the corner, I'm just stamping a fir cone there in soft suede. Back with my Just Jade. Stamp off and then stamp on. To stamp the second tier piece, I'm going to do the fir cones first and then fill in with the pines. So I'm switching ink pads and I'll speed this up, remembering to stamp off each time. Now I can adhere the pieces to my second tier. I'm going to put tear and tape on the end panel here. Now I glued the piece I stamped for the back of the card, and I'm just going to put this layer here so I can gauge where to put the tear and tape. Remove the backing paper from the double-sided tape and then adhere this piece to that panel there. Okay, so that's attached. Now we're going to do the mechanism. Before I do that, I need to stamp the dove. I'm going to stamp it in Versamark first and then stamp it in soft suede, and this way it will make the ink still sticky and I can put embossing powder on it with clear embossing powder. Sprinkle clear embossing powder over it, tap off the excess, bring in the heat tool to melt the embossing powder. Just a little bit of colouring with the Stampin' Right markers, the Real Red for the berry and Just Jade for the leaves. Before I die cut this, I'm not using my blender pens to colour it, because unfortunately the back of it will show, it will bleed through to the back. So I'm just using a blender pen. I'm picking up some ink from the ink pad to colour it in, and then just slightly put a bit of shading there. If you've got the new Stamp and Cut and Emboss Stamping Up machine, then you'll need platform 1, platform 2, the magnetic platform. Place your cardstock on and the die. Plate number 3, and you're ready to run it through the machine. So I'll do that off camera. The wiper mechanism. So you place your cardstock. I showed you that you should upturn the lower right corner and bring it up to meet the top. So there's a triangle there. And it's this section that you need to put adhesive. So rather than using Tombow glue, because it can get very sticky, I'm just going to use my tear and tape. And I'll use that corner on here. And remove that bit. And this bit. And stick another piece on top there, so that it's all covered. So now to place it on, you want to marry up this corner of this triangle along the score line there, okay, at the top, like so. And then just bend that down. That's your mechanism. So then that should fold down like that and be shy of the bottom of your second tier. Now bring in your window sheet and use 2 glue dots at each end, like so, and place it on your mechanism. And then you want that bird to be inside this section here, within the 2-inch section. So you need more glue dots. Probably better to stick it on to the mechanism rather than to your bird, so you can make sure that it's on the mechanism. So let's place the bird there. Alright, now that should go up, and you want to remove the tape from in here and glue it flush with the front of the card. Okay, so then when you fold the card back, that disappears inside. When you open it, it comes up. It's as easy as that. Last thing to do is cut our pine leaves and our felt acorn. So here's our sandwich again. Platform 1, platform 2, which is a thin die adapter, your magnetic platform, the felt with the acorn, and your cardstock and your leaves. Platform 3 on top, and then you're ready to run it through the die cutting machine. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. You might find that the die might not have cut right through to the felt, so you can get a pair of scissors and just run it round the die cut. Make sure that the more textured side is showing, so there's a right way and a wrong way. So you want this one showing. Pop some glue dots on it. And also on your leaf. And that on top. And hey presto, your card's done. And we'll add some rhinestones here. And that's how you make the two-tiered wiper card. So that's the front and that's the back. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you next week. All the supplies are listed below in this show more section. You can also find me on my blog on Facebook, Pinterest and Instagram. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be back soon. Bye.